Everyone, welcome back to the NFA Review channel. Today we're going to take an in-depth look at the Henry Big Boy X model 357-38 Special. So I've been wanting to get my hands on this for quite some time, and I finally got it probably 2 months ago, I want to say, and you've already seen it cameo with Suppressor reviews as a host here on the channel. Well, today we're going to take an in-depth look at this here in the studio, and then we're going to hit that range and do a lot of shooting. So let's go ahead and get down to it. All right, first things first, let's cover the specs, and then we'll cover the special features, and then we'll hit that range so we can spend more time out there having fun. So overall length, of course, without the 3-lug adapter here, just from end to end, comes in at 36.3 inches, and then it has a length of pull of 14 inches. And while we're on lengths, the barrel comes in at 17.4 inches, and it is constructed of blued steel. Now the total weight of the rifle is only 7.3 pounds, and it balances very nice even with a suppressor on the end. See, moving down to the receiver, you have all steel receiver, blued, and then of course the aforementioned barrel, of course, is all steel and blued as well. Looks really congruent, nice looking finish there. Going back to the stock and forearm, it is full synthetic black. Doesn't scuff easily. Actually pretty durable. Just like the density of the synthetic stock, I figure just putting it in and out of my truck and kind of banging it into things that we might have seen some marring here. But like I said, I've been using this for over 2 months, and there's no visible wear marks on it yet. As far as the sights, they are fiber optic type, and the rear is adjustable for windage and elevation. Windage, you would just loosen the rear sight, move it left or right, and then the elevation, you have a set screw here to add elevation there on the rear sight. Moving to the back, the recoil pad is rubber. Probably really don't need that much here. I'm sure 357 is going to kick a little bit more. I actually have not shot it with 357 yet. It's all been just 38 Special, because it's naturally subsonic, makes for really quiet suppressed shooting, but it does have a recoil pad, and the capacity is 7+1, and the MSRP is $1,049. Now that we got the basic specs out of the way, let's go ahead and kind of give it a more in-depth overview. Now, the standout features, of course, are that this is going to be an all-black tactical suppressor ready model. Now, it comes threaded 5/8 by 24 on the end. Now, of course, since this is chambered in 357-38, 5/8 by 24 is really not the thread pitch that this needs. It needs 1/2 by 28. However, I had a Griffin Armament 5/8 by 24 adapter here for a 3-lug, which was very handy. I actually just had it laying around in a box, threw it on there, and I'm good to go. So that is one option. And it's a really good option, because then you don't need to worry about your suppressor loosening, and pretty much every suppressor that you're going to have already that's either 45 for multi-caliber use or a 9mm can, you're going to have a 3-lug option somewhere in there. So this is one route you could go. Another notable feature is you have 2 ways to load it. You have the side gate here, or you have the magazine tube, which is pretty cool. One thing to note, if you're shooting suppress with a suppressor on, you will not be able to remove the magazine tube because it'll hit the rear of the suppressor, but it is just another option. So when shooting unsuppressed, you would just loosen this, rotate the firearm upside down. You see you have a cartridge outline here. You can drop your rounds in 1 by 1, 7 at a time. Close your magazine tube. You'll hear them all compress inside the spring, and then you're good to go. Excuse me. Back to the stock. In front of it, you have Picatinny rail option and a M-lock on either side, which is pretty slick. And then you have sling mounts here and here. Now, as far as the lever, this is the larger loop. Okay, so much nicer. I can't imagine after using this for a while, this being smaller. So that is definitely a must, because I've seen them where they're just straight and there's no flare out here on the loop, and it's just not going to be as comfortable or easy to run quickly at the range. So that is definitely welcome there. And as you can see, very, very smooth. I'll give you a nice tight close-up shot here, and you can actually see how this actuates. Okay, it feeds in from the bottom here. There's a follower, spring, and a tube. Okay, so your rounds are all up here, and they load backwards here. You open it, it catches it on a feed tray, and then when you close the lever, it pops it up and loads it into the chamber with the bolt here. So pretty slick. Haven't had it malfunction at all. Just make sure when you're shooting it, you just really throw that lever forward and then back. You don't want to half stroke it. Trigger, not bad actually. There was just slight amount of creep right there, and then it releases. Not really noticeable out on the range, just here when you're really concentrating on it. As far as wear and tear, all you're going to get is a little, copper here transferring on the feed tray flap. That's normal. That's just from the tips of the bullets sliding in. Gives it some character. Looks cool. Nothing to note there. So I think that pretty much covers it in the studio. I kind of want to keep it as brief as possible because I'd rather spend more time out there plinking with this thing. We're just going to go have fun with it. We're not going to get too serious. This is just one of those guns that I think all of us with suppressors are going to want because it traps all those gases in the barrel and it makes for a very, very quiet suppressor host. Let's go ahead, hit the range. This gun makes you feel like a cowboy. You know, I don't own a cowboy hat yet. I own cowboy boots. They're comfortable and it's nice to wear outdoors when you're going to be walking around a bunch of crap and insects, snakes, all that stuff. But let me tell you, this thing definitely makes you want to go out and buy a nice Stetson or something for sure. So all right guys, as far as like the structure of today's video, it's gonna be a little different than my suppressor reviews that you're used to seeing. But we're just gonna run this thing through its paces. As you probably noticed already, I'm wearing a lapel microphone. It's a little bit different than what you're used to. So it's going to sound a little different as far as the suppressed scenes. I did film the intro to today's video with my other microphone setup, so you can hear what this thing really sounds like with a suppressor, which is quite impressive. Because of course, as I mentioned in the studio, the action stays closed and all that gas gets trapped. Makes for a really fun suppressor host. So today we're going to run 357 Magnum through it the first time. So we have some Remington UMC. 125 grain, and this is soft. It's like a half jacket there. Let's go ahead and run it. We're going to drop one in the pipe. All right. Then that gives us 7 in the magazine for a total of 8. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of run these through, see how it functions. And then we're gonna shoot for some accuracy here and see how she does. One thing to note with these soft jacketed hollow points, the lead, I can feel it kind of grabbing on the side load gate. It doesn't slide as smooth as the full metal jacket 38 specials that I was shooting earlier. So just something to note, not a big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and decock it here. Throw on my ear protection because that would suck. And see how she does in 357. All right, let's get a feel for her here. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so weapon's clear. Oh, my front sight just fell off. All right. So good thing I should have some small little Allen keys with me in the truck. But yeah, my, did I say front sight? My rear sight just slid right out of the dovetail there. So let me go ahead and fix that. As far as the 357, it's actually more fun to shoot than the 38 special that I've been shooting just today. And of course, you guys have already seen this kind of cameo in some of my other reviews that I've been doing for suppressors. I've been shooting 38 special only. The recoil is actually really fun with this gun and it hits much harder downrange. So let me go ahead and see if I can throw this rear sight on and we'll get back to shooting. All right, I have the front sight screwed back down. When I get home, I'm gonna throw some blue Loctite on there, kind of redo it so that doesn't happen again. I got it pretty tight. Let's see, so let's shoot for accuracy. Now I haven't shot this gun for accuracy yet. All the other videos I was just kind of plinking to get the sound profile. Right now we're at like 35, 40 yards or so. I drew a little square on an IDPA cardboard target out there with a Sharpie, put a dot in the middle. I already checked the front sight, pretty much obscures that dot. So we're gonna do our best here, shoot 5 rounds with the 357, support it off this bag and just see what we can do here. All right, looks like my elevation, it's shooting a little high. It's okay, I'm not gonna change anything right now. Yep, shooting a little high there. It's okay. Yeah, I need a cowboy hat. This would be way cooler right now. Maybe a horse. Shoot groups from a horse suppressed. That would make for cool content. All right, let's go check it out. I'll take that. I'll take that for show. So this was shot 1. I adjusted and I just kind of walked it down a little bit, but you know, not bad. 357 Magnum, 40 yards. You know, I think the sweet spot for this type of platform, especially considering it's going to be mainly for suppressed shooting, 38 special fun, like backyard plinking type stuff. I'm thinking 0 at like 25 yards. I'll give you a good elevation adjustment for, you know, close-up work and work out to 75 yards or so. I think 25 yards would be a good place to set this one up. Let's throw on, just for shits, let's throw on the 38 special suppressed, see what happens. All right, this should be interesting. All right, I marked the already fired shots, and the suppressor diameter is causing my front sight to be blocked. So I'm gonna have to shoot both eyes open and just kind of guesstimate where this is going. I cannot see much at all. Okay, that was quiet. Looks like I'm high left. Both eyes open, trying to find the black dot. It's so quiet. Yeah, it's still shooting high. So the subsonic 38 didn't do much for drop compared to the 357. It's not that hard actually to focus on the shooting both eyes open. Just kind of concentrate on the front sight, and then your eyes will drift right into the target and it just ghosts itself out. You can kind of do it a couple times to make sure you're still centered. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. So yeah, still shooting high here. We have 1 right here, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, definitely I would say, you know, right now we're at 40 yards. Yeah, you could give it hell at 25 yards with this thing for sure. Just like pop shooting. I mean, I was pop shooting at the beginning of this video at 40 yards just fine. Let's challenge ourselves in the gun a little bit. Let's back it up to 100 yards, and I'm gonna give this steel a couple hits and see just how easy it is to hit. I'm not gonna adjust the sights at all because we're already shooting a little high, so we should be good to go. So I'm gonna try 38 suppressed and 357 on suppressed, see what she gives us. All right, we're back at 100 yards. I have 8 rounds of 357 Magnum loaded up. And I got, let's see, we got 2 white painted steels on the left side of the range and 2 red painted steels on the right. So let's go ahead and just peg them, see what we got. 100 yards, 357, unsuppressed. Unsupported. I'm gonna hold right dead center in the steel, see what we got. Oh yeah, that gets there in a hot second. See if I can speed it up. Yep. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. I think I lost one. Maybe not, maybe it was an empty. Nope. That's what happens when you shoot from a horse, you know? You drop cartridges and make it count. Nailed it. All right, now let's see what we got for that slow moving 38 special here. Suppressor's on. You know, this thing's just as much fun to load as it is to shoot, and I can't say that about, well, any other firearm that I own. You know, it's slow, it's methodical. What's the word I'm looking for? Therapeutic. It's therapeutic. I need more lever guns in my life. Specifically, suppressor ready ones. Because it just changes the whole game. I think we're fully loaded here. We'll go with that. All right, got one in the pipe. Center again, let's just see what we got as far as bullet drop. It's awesome. So sometimes if you short feed the lever and then go to load it again, it'll hang up. You just got to pull it back a little bit. See, because it wants to eject. So I'm going to have to actually pull out that cartridge, close it. I'll reload it, there you go, into the side. Now we're in business. So you just got to take a little care sometimes when shooting that shorter ammunition there. Don't really have that problem with the 357, it's just long enough. That's my fault. Dare I say, that's about as much fun you can have with your clothes on if you're not shooting full auto. Suppressed 38 special at 100 yards is extremely satisfying. All right, now many of you guys are gonna be buying this as a suppressor host, so that's kind of like something that I really wanna kind of concentrate on today. We checked this function with 38 special and 357 Magnum. We found out that you really need to take care when chambering a 38 special because the case length's a little shorter. You don't want to short stroke it. Actually, you think it'd be easier, right, to chamber it if it's shorter and not longer. Anyway, take care. Really throw that lever forward and back to ensure that everything goes smoothly. But what I want to do here is a little experiment just for our sake, for the suppressor nerds. I'm going to shoot it as fast as I can with 38 special wearing the lapel microphone, and then I'm going to switch out the microphones right where the camera is. I'm at 40 yards. The camera is roughly halfway between me and the berm. Okay, kind of at an angle here. So I just want to kind of see what it sounds like at home when I'm editing this. Let's find out. Lapel mic versus my other microphone. Which one gives you more realistic sound? God, that's fun. I'm really just making up excuses to shoot it. doggy. This thing was fun to shoot today, guys. I hope it was as fun to watch as it was for me to shoot. Huge home run here from Henry. Want to thank them for trusting me to test and evaluate this. No, I was not paid to do this review. Anything I say is my own opinion. This gun's awesome. I want all their guns. I want their freaking threaded 22. This one's not going anywhere. I want the 44 Magnum, the 44 Special one. Any threaded Henry that they make, I want as a suppressor host. It sounds that good and it's that fun to shoot. You know, off camera, I was like, what other gun suppresses like this with pistol calibers? And the only thing I could think of off the top of my head was the MP5 platform, because it's delayed roller blowback, traps the gases just long enough. MP5 sound very good suppressed. I kind of want to do a head-to-head video down the road of like what each firearm sounds like, the MP5 versus this. But I mean, 38 Special, I mean, there's suppressed 22s I feel don't sound that good. I mean, it is that good. We're shooting the Rex Selenium MG7 with the .358 bore aperture on it. Sounded great all day. Shooting 38 Special, you know, standard velocity, which is going to be naturally subsonic out of a 17-inch barrel with a suppressor on it, is super fun. If you haven't tried it, I highly suggest you do. 357 was actually more fun than I thought it would be. That extra oomph behind you when you're shooting a lever gun just feels more fun. So that's something to take note of. And it's cool that you can just flip-flop back between 38 Special and 357. And this is just ammo you can find off the shelf, so you're not like trying to find, you know, 147 grade 9mm for all your other hosts during supply shortages. You'll probably be able to find 357, and if you can't find that, you'll be able to find 38 and vice versa during supply shortages, so it's nice to be able to shoot both. Let's see, let's go on some dings here. Rear sight fell off, that was kind of funny. I did tighten it on there. I didn't use any Loctite here on the range, I don't have any, but it stayed secure for the rest of shooting. Maybe just a fluke, but I'm fully transparent. Wanted to show you guys what happened. As far as the thread pitch, this is a, you know, a gun that's going to be using 9mm, you know, suppressors on the end. So Henry should have threaded it in 1/2 by 28. I don't know why they did 5/8 by 24, because even though you'd have like a really small neck on the end of this, because it is a bull barrel, they could have supplied it with a nice thick, you know, seamless looking thread protector, you know, maybe non-knurled, so it looks like just one congruent barrel. That could have been done. Maybe they'll change that down the road. I don't know. This is like the first run from this platform, so maybe they will go to 1/2 by 28 from the 5/8 by 24 thread pitch on the 38 Special 357 chambering here. Obviously, the 44 Magnum, that makes more sense. You know, the 44 Magnum and 44 Special version of this gun. But other than that, you know, I had the Griffin Armament 3-lug adapter already in hand, so I just threw it on there and actually made it kind of a non-issue, but it should probably be 1/2 by 28, but I made it work anyway. You will too. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I didn't use the tube loader today because I just forgot, actually, because the side loading is just way more fun. And that's kind of my next topic here, is how much fun you can have shooting this while shooting slowly. Okay, you don't have like magazines on hand to keep, you know, having fun. It kind of like slows the pace of shooting. It makes it just as enjoyable as shooting very fast with full autos, magazine changes, stuff like that. So fun to load, fun to shoot. At 100 yards, shot great. I was aiming dead center on all of them. I don't know if you'll be able to see it from your angle there. I'm shooting with a 90mm prime lens, and I was focused on me, so you might not be able to see the target hits, but I was aiming in the center and they were hitting in the center. So no bullet drop. 17-inch barrel is definitely helping there. That plane is really loud. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's accurate enough for what we're gonna need it for. I say, you know, it's gonna be one of those guns when you bust it out of the box, just take half of your first range day and just adjust your elevation here with the set screw, throw a drop of Loctite on there, you'll be good to go. And it'll be set up for the distances that you'll be shooting at your range. So set it, forget it on that aspect. 38 Special was fun. 357 was really fun, really slammed home on those targets downrange. And I just don't know what else to say. I want all their guns that they make that are threaded. and they're gonna stay in my collection forever. Never gonna sell them. These things are cool. I want to pass them down to my daughter. It'd be cool to get like, I don't even know if they make them yet, but it'd be cool to get like a 22 version of this, like the same setup, and then this one, and then the 44, and have like one of each, just different chambering so they all match. That'd be pretty dope, especially if you had the 3-lug on each one. That would be really, really neat. So hope you guys enjoyed the review. Shout out to 2A Warehouse. They're awesome, and all my patrons on Patreon. Without them, this would not be feasible to keep running this channel. It's very expensive, time consuming. It takes many, many, many hours of my life away from my family to come out here, shoot, film, edit, and huge props to everybody on Patreon. You do not want to go anywhere. You want to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because I have huge news dropping come this June. So this June, I'm gonna drop a dime on you, and you guys are gonna be super happy with what I have to say. Something big is coming down the pipeline, and you're not gonna want to miss it. So until then, stay tuned. I have a ton more firearm reviews to do and a ton more suppressor reviews to do for the 2022 year, so you're not gonna want to miss it, and I'll see you next time.